Welcome to the emergentbehaviors.com channel. Today we explore baking the prompt into the brain, a visual deep dive into On-Policy Context Distillation, or OPCD, based on the research paper by Tianzhu Ye Li Dong, Shaohan Huang, and Furu from Microsoft Research. If you have ever wished you could get the benefits of a giant system prompt without hauling that prompt around on every single request, this is the idea that makes it possible. In this video, we will break down why long prompts become a real cost and latency problem, why older context distillation methods can drift and hallucinate, and how on-policy training with reverse KL divergence helps a model learn from its own trajectories and stay on track. Then we will tour the results, from math and game-style tasks to safety and domain rules, and see what it takes to put this into practice. Now look at this line. I can answer your question, but first I need to reread the entire employee handbook. That is the perfect joke, and it is exactly what we are doing to the model. We hand it a giant policy manual as a system prompt, it performs great, and then the next request comes in and we make it reread the whole thing again. What's interesting here is the business pain hiding underneath. In-context learning is powerful, but it is transient. At enterprise scale, resending the same massive prompt over and over spikes latency and quietly inflates per query cost. So the goal is simple: keep the behavior, ditch the repeated prompt overhead. Next, we will visualize the reset problem in one image. Now look at this tiny mini dialogue on the slide. Here are the rules. And immediately the model responds, who am I? What are rules? That is the 51st dates problem of AI in one image. Every time the context resets, it wakes up with no memory of the last conversation. Notice what that destroys. All the valuable insights you just generated together, your preferences, the edge cases you clarified, the decisions you made, vanish the moment you start a new chat. So the model has to relearn everything from scratch again and again. And that is why long system prompts feel so painful. You are paying to teach the same lesson repeatedly instead of making it stick. Next, we will look at the before and after, stuffing rules into the input versus baking them into the model. Now look at this before picture. The user question is tiny, but it gets shoved into this huge input giant prompt box. That box is doing all the work, policies, domain knowledge, tone rules, and the model has to reread it every single time, which is exactly the cost and memory reset pain we talked about earlier. The dream on this slide is context distillation. You compress that context directly into the student model's parameters. So after training, the student carries the behavior inside its weights and can reproduce the same context-aware answers without dragging the prompt along at inference. Think of it like moving rules off a sticky note and into muscle memory. Next, we will look at the warning labels, how this can go wrong, and why. Now look at the two warning labels on this slide. One is the probability of the AI hallucinating, basically how often it makes something up. The other is how far the model wanders from the training script, how quickly it drifts off the behavior we tried to bake in back on that context distillation dream. What's interesting here is the technical culprit they call out: off-policy training with forward callback libeler divergence on a fixed dataset. It sounds rigorous, but it trains the student in a safe, curated world. And that's why this old way breaks in two specific ways: exposure bias and mode covering. Next, we'll unpack both, and you'll see why they show up exactly at deployment time. Now look at this split-screen metaphor. On the left, the student just watches the teacher drive perfectly. On the right, that same student is suddenly behind the wheel alone. That is exposure bias in one image. During training, an off-policy student only ever sees clean, ground truth sequences. The teacher picks every token, every turn, every correction. But at deployment, the model has to generate its own autoregressive sequence step by step. And here is the brutal mismatch. One tiny wrong token early on changes the road ahead. The model drifts. The inputs it sees get weirder. And because it never practiced recovering from its own mistakes, it panics and crashes. Next, we will see how the training objective itself can push the model into a hallucination zone. Now look at the two labels they've pinned to this flaw. Forward KL on the left creates an overly broad student, while the fix on the right pushes mode-seeking behavior, a tighter, safer high-confidence region where the model is both confident and accurate. Here's the intuition written under the graphic. Forward KL basically tells a smaller student, cover everything the teacher might say. But the teacher is complex and context-loaded, and the student just does not have the capacity. So it spreads probability mass everywhere, guessing broadly. And notice where that lands you, the hallucination zone. Broad guessing is exactly how you get confident nonsense. Next, we'll see how going on policy changes what the student actually practices. If you're finding this interesting, check out our blog post linked in the description for more details. Now look at the phrase on policy. This is the Microsoft breakthrough. Remember the problem we just nailed down. The student was trained off policy, watching perfect teacher trajectories on a fixed dataset, then getting thrown into the real world to drive alone. OPCD flips that. The student generates its own trajectory first, with no safety net, and then learns from what it actually did. Why does that matter? because it attacks exposure bias head-on. Training now looks like deployment. The inputs the student sees are the messy consequences of its own earlier tokens, not a curated script. And notice the teacher does not disappear. The teacher still matters, but now as the evaluator judging the student's real path, not an imaginary one. Next, you'll see that evaluation happen, token by token. Now look at that speech bubble. The teacher is basically coaching token by token, based on the rules, therefore is a great choice. Keep going. That tiny approval matters, because it is not judging some perfect pre-written answer. It is judging the student's actual path. Here's the mechanism. The student generates without the context turned on, so it is driving with its own instincts. Then the teacher steps in with the full context and evaluates that exact trajectory, the exact words the student chose in that order. What's interesting here is the training effect. Feedback is attached to the student's own decisions, so it learns to self-correct in real time. Next, we will turn that into a simple rule. Double down when the teacher likes a token, suppress it when the teacher hates it. Now look at the rule on the slide, because it is brutally simple. If the student guesses a word the teacher thinks is highly probable, it doubles down. It pushes even more probability onto that choice next time. But if the student puts weight on a word the teacher hates, reverse KL slaps it down and suppresses it. Notice what the diagram implies. We are not trying to cover every possibility the teacher might allow. Reverse KL pulls the student into the teacher's high likelihood region and keeps it tight. And that is the magic mode seeking behavior. You stop feeding probability into the hallucinatory long tail, and the model learns to stay in the safe, high confidence lane. Next, we will ground this in a grid world with rules like don't walk and move right. Now look at these grid world screenshots and the blunt little rules. Don't walk, move right, and even screen 1 into H. That is not a human writing a walkthrough, it is the model distilling behavior from its own past attempts into compact reusable guidance. And here is the claim. Those historical solution traces are not just logged and forgotten. With OPCD, the model takes that accumulated experience and bakes it into its parameters permanently. So instead of rereading a giant prompt or replaying old runs every time, it internalizes the strategy and starts acting like it just knows the rules. Next, we will quantify how big that jump gets on Frozen Lake, without keeping the rules in the prompt at deployment. Now look at the chart story on Frozen Lake. The tiny Quen 3 1.7b model starts out basically lost, about a 6% success rate. After it generates its own little set of rules and OPCD distills those rules into the weights, it jumps to 38%. That is not a small tweak, that is a behavior change. What's interesting here is the deployment detail. At inference time, the rules are not sitting in the prompt anymore. No giant notes, no extra context window tax. The model just plays better because the strategy got baked in. And next, we'll see the uncomfortable flip side. Stuffing advanced notes into a smaller model's context can actually make it worse. Now look at this plot. It is the in-context trap in one picture. You have an 8B teacher generating these advanced notes, and then you try to shove that guidance straight into the context of a smaller student. The dashed in-context curve actually drops while OPCDR method climbs, and the quote nails why. I have no idea what these advanced notes mean. The student is not being lazy. The guidance is oversized and mismatched to what the smaller model can reliably interpret, so it misuses it and gets worse. This builds on reverse KL from earlier. Don't force the student to imitate impossible complexity. The takeaway is blunt. OPCD alignment is required to safely transfer insights across model sizes. Next, we apply that to giant enterprise system prompts. Now look at this enterprise setup. To get medical-grade accuracy and strict safety behavior, teams often bolt on a massive system prompt. It is basically a rulebook that says, be clinically precise, follow safety constraints, refuse risky requests. It works, but you pay for it every single query. More tokens, more latency, more chances the smaller model misreads the instructions, like we saw with the in-context trap. What makes OPCD clever is it takes those beneficial behaviors and permanently encodes them into the model, so you do not need that huge prompt at inference. And the impact is not subtle. Llama 3.2 to 3b jumps from 30.7% to 83.1% accuracy on safety tasks after internalizing the prompt. Next, we have to talk about the danger of overtraining safety and causing tunnel vision. Don't forget to check the description for additional resources on this topic. Now look at the trade-off hiding behind all that safety tuning, catastrophic forgetting. If you aggressively train a model to follow a strict rulebook, it can develop tunnel vision, it gets really good at the exact safety patterns you rewarded, and quietly loses the broader skills that made it useful in the first place. And what gets hit first? Out of distribution performance? The weird edge cases, the unfamiliar phrasing, the tasks that do not look like the training set. Remember how we wanted the benefits of that giant system prompt without paying the token tax? The key is, we want specialization without breaking the rest of the brain. Next, you will see a clean example of safety improving while real medical capability stays intact. Now look at this two-panel story. On the left, you have in-distribution safety. As training steps increase, the student gets better at the rules we care about, like refusing toxic language. On the right is the real stress test, out-of-distribution medical questions, where catastrophic forgetting usually shows up first. And that cartoon quote is the whole point. I learned not to swear and I still know how to perform surgery. Safety alignment without amputating domain skill. Notice what happens as the curves move. OPCD keeps OOD medical accuracy strong while safety improves, and it beats the older off-policy methods by about 4 percentage points on those OO tasks. Next, we will see why a frozen teacher matters for stability. Now look at this comparison. Teacher-student OPCD versus self-distillation, where the model is trying to learn and teach at the same time. That sounds efficient, but it is a trap. If the teacher is continuously changing, the target keeps moving, you get a noisy, high-variance learning signal. What makes the frozen teacher setup work is right on the slide. Stable signal, clear objectives, and no drift. The student always knows what it is chasing, and the feedback stays consistent across updates. And the scoreboard makes it brutal. On Sokoban, self-OPCD only hits 18.8%, while teacher-student OPCD jumps to 53.9%. Same idea, totally different stability. Next, we will see why this is surprisingly lightweight to reproduce. Now look at this. After all the talk about frozen teachers and avoiding catastrophic forgetting, you might assume OPCD needs some ridiculous training budget. It doesn't. Unlike massive pre-training runs, this is lightweight and actually reproducible. The paper calls out just 8 A100 GPUs. And the data side is even more surprising. You only need about 30 seed examples to start generating full solution traces, which become the fuel for experiential learning. So you're not begging for huge labeled datasets or endless human annotation. What's interesting here is the integration point. OPCD plugs straight into existing RLVR pipelines. That means you can add this learning loop without rewriting your whole workflow. Next, we'll zoom out to why more progress is shifting from training time to test time. Now look at this paradigm shift. The biggest gains are moving from training time to test time, meaning the learning loop is happening closer and closer to deployment. Remember how we talked about the student practicing its own trajectories while the teacher stays stable? This is the payoff. Instead of shipping a model, collecting failures, and waiting for a giant retraining cycle, the deployed model can absorb what it keeps seeing, the rules, edge cases, and hard-won fixes, and internalize them as actual capability. Why does this matter? Because it stops the prompt from becoming a crutch. No more bloated context windows, and far less dependence on expensive manual human annotation. So to recap the whiteboard. First, system prompts are too heavy. They are brittle, expensive, and they turn capability into pasted context. Second, old off-policy distillation can actually create hallucinations through exposure bias. Because the student learns on data it will not generate at test time. Third, OPCD fixes that by going on policy. The student learns from its own trajectories and its own mistakes, while a frozen teacher keeps the learning signal stable, like we saw in that teacher-student versus self-distillation comparison. Fourth, using reverse KL pushes focused, mode-seeking answers, and fifth, the result is huge gains in text games and math, perfect safety rules, and zero catastrophic forgetting without needing a supercomputer. Welcome to Self-Improving AI, where useful context becomes a learned capability, not a pasted prompt. Thanks for watching. If you want to read more, our detailed blog post, complete with slide deck, quiz, and flashcards, is available at emergentbehaviors.com and linked in the description. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Where would baking prompts into weights help most in your work? A huge thank you to the authors for their amazing research. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!